Cap, according to Monique, means that the hat on the head means you're lying. I've never heard that, but that's the origin of cap. I'm about to look this up. I'm gonna look.
Tendencies to be less open-minded.
Which is crazy because that's literally one of the three spiritual principles that we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have open. Yeah, we have to be open-minded.
It's a tense stuff. Don't sound like the
do.
president to start inventorying yourselves, but be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess, so I knew I was missed.
It's beyond my wildest imagination.
It's getting deep in here now.
It's incredible.
We have the rainbow without going through the rain. And I love it.
Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
And applying the recovery, I thought about it for a second.
For the last couple of weeks, the young man has been here. And we had put the young man to work, and the young man has been a part of the setup group. Has been a part of a setup group, and that pleases me as well. That let us know that our work is not being done in vain. And things like that, man, make me reflect on my recovery, make me reflect on where I came from, and make me reflect on how I got here, And, I'm no different from nobody else, went through the same thing. I mean, some of that stuff, man, I don't know. I don't even tell my story anymore. If you were here years ago, you got a chance to hear my story. And it was some gruesome things in my story. What you see now is the end result. The end result of what I went through, man, I don't know, years and years ago, with the addiction thing, man. I didn't get clean until I was 36 years old, And, but what I did from 21 to 36, 6 years of that time spent in the Virginia State Penitentiary, And so you just know, and I know when I hear people in here, man, how painful that shit was, man. How painful it was, But my topic for today, man, and it's always a topic, man, is about going through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Going through a storm, going through a storm. This is part of my message today. I'm old. Me and John old. When we come in here, they talk about going through some stuff, about going through a storm and all that, And I tell you what my mindset was, just like when I was here with y'all. When I get out and, I may run into some problems for the next 6 months, and, I'll handle that. I'll deal with whatever it is that I got to deal with, and then I'll be fine. Not understanding that in this thing called life, shit happens. Shit happens. Good and bad. And a whole lot of times, when you're in a setting like this, anything bad that happens, bam, we off and running. We don't know how to fight and we don't know how to advocate for ourselves. We take off and run it, And that's part of my question today. I want to go around and ask everybody. Part of my question today, is what am I willing to do? What am I willing to do to change things? None of us in here, except for this young lady right here, she's what, 20? Yeah, she's 20 years old. She's exempted. But none of us, you know what I'm saying, are young. Yeah, we old heads. We done been through this thing, man. We done been through this thing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And, we ain't going to bust your bubble, but what we going to talk about also is, man, you got to work, man. You got to put some work in, And I want to go. I want to do that. I want to get everybody engaged, My man, tell me, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do?
I would go any length.
That ain't a good answer. I want you to.
Henry, you give it to him.
Oh, you give
If you
it.
speak in the mic, they'll hear you on Facebook and YouTube.
I don't want a
You made
cosmetic.
the green team? Yeah. When she used to be in here? Oh, Orbit.
Oh,
Go
she's
ahead, I'm
Orbit.
sorry, man. Outburst. Yeah, what are you willing to do besides go to any lane?
Yeah.
Speak in the mic.
That's a cosmetic answer. I mean, any and everybody could give that answer. I want you to give me a personal answer. You know what I'm saying?
Like go to meetings, go straight from here to a meeting.
Well, first of all, I will seek God wills in my life. That's what I will do.
You will seek God.
You texting on speaker?
No,
Your wife?
no. I'm trying to find a message that my wife sent me.
Oh, you couldn't memorize it?
No. And hey, John, you would love it
Man, my wife sends me messages like, when you
all the time. Oh, I know where I got it at.
Feed the dog.
Oh, hey, I got to read this. Every day, this is what my wife do, man. She send me messages, you know. And so, in the meantime, y'all think about what it is that you're willing to do. Think about it. What it is that you're willing to do, you know. But anyway, I had to read this too as well. My wife sends me a message, and it says, great marriages don't happen by luck or by accident. They are the result of a consistent investment of time, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, affection, prayer, mutual respect, and a rock-solid commitment between a husband and a wife. I could say the same thing, man, about recovery. That's how I think. That's how I think. A lot of my thinking, man, is recovery related. You know? A rock-solid commitment. You know? Man, I mean the rock-solid commitment we had to use it. Man, I just talked to a guy on the phone early part of the day. He ain't been too long got out of jail. Been out a little over a year, got him a job, relocated and all that. And he hooks up with a girl that was in treatment. The girl, after about 6 months of being in treatment, came home and all that. A month later, she started to use, you know? And, I mean, now he in a situation where he's supporting an addict, you know? Every day, he works at a place that he get tips every day. His girl be waiting on him to come home. She know he got tip money, you know? And I was telling him, I was like, dude, you don't understand this thing, man.
You ain't got enough tips.
Thank you, John. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't sustainable. You know, it ain't sustainable. You know, you dealing with somebody that's using, man. You know, I'm like, dude, I said, I can't say what's going to happen. I tell you what ain't going to happen. I mean, the situation ain't going to resolve itself. It ain't. You know what I mean? He knows what little bit he know about recovery is what one is too many and 1,000 not enough. You know, he knows that, but he done got himself in a situation and he don't know what to do about it. You know, I told him, I said, man, you're gonna have to separate yourself from that.
You got to tell them that one tip you giving up.
Yeah.
2 minutes, because 1,000
2 minutes,
never
man.
gonna be enough.
2 minutes, man. You know, yeah, that's one tip. 2 minutes, man. Wait a minute, I got one other text. I want to. Wait a minute, I got one other text. And this from my wife. Oh, Proverbs 18:22. You know what that is? No. He who finds a wife finds it. Whoa! Half of y'all know that. Hey, yeah. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. And my wife Chevy said, that's in the Bible. And my response to her was, amen. I believe it, you know. But this is the kind of stuff that goes on a daily basis, man, in my life. You know what I'm saying? In John's life, you know. We got a good partner, man. We got a good partner, you know. And it's evident, you know. In my house, somebody got to tell a joke every night, Pam. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to laugh. We got to enjoy this thing, you know. And why y'all see me sometimes, I'm so jacked up, because, man, I'm excited, man, about these days that I got, you know. I'm excited about it. You know, people tell you, man, hey, man, enjoy your day, man. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your day. Some of us act like we don't know how to do that. You know, I know how to do it too much, you know. And I'd rather know how to do it too much than to do it not enough, you know. Okay, let's go back. You thought about it. You thought about it. What it is that you're willing to do. What was the answer? I ain't hear it. Okay. Was it a good answer?
Well, I'm willing to follow God's will for my life.
You're willing to find God? Follow God. Okay. That's a good answer, you know, because I think the program that I come from is a byproduct of that, you know, the 12 steps. We actually have a program every Sunday at McShane. The guy that leads the program, he's a minister, and they got a 12-step program from a religious point of view. As it stands today, there are different paths of recovery, you know. So everybody don't have to follow the same path. You know, it could be 10 different paths, you know. But find out what your path is, you know, with the help of somebody. You know what I'm saying? With the help of somebody, you know. What stays with me today is like you know, I'm saying, John, my wife. I mean, I need somebody in my life, man. I need somebody in my life. Why? Because it's a known fact, man. We cannot check ourselves. We cannot police ourselves on a consistent basis. If I was to police myself, every decision I make, the majority of the time, going to be in my favor. And not only me, politicians, doctors, lawyers, everybody. When they start policing themselves, they're going to make decisions in their favor. You know? So I need somebody, man. I need somebody to check me. Oh, man. A wife. John will tell you. A wife. They'll check you. Yeah. A sponsor. A mentor. Somebody like that. You know, they'll check you. I got all of those. I got a sponsor. I got a mentor. I got a wife. I'm being checked on a regular basis. My wife don't mind calling me and telling me, hey, Marcia, look, what you was talking about the other day, I think we need to do so and so, such. You know, and for the most part now, I don't get in debates no more and try to change somebody's mind. I understand how hard it is changing my mind. You know what I'm saying? So I can't change nobody else's mind. That's why me and John live with this thing. If somebody made a decision to use, ain't shit we can do about it. If they'd have made a decision to use, they're going to use. If you'd have made a decision while you in here, not to commit yourself to change, it ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen. My man, what are you willing to do? Old school.
No, that's him. I'm
Yeah.
too young for that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first things is I didn't have communication. So communicate for one, right? Because I ain't never want to be less than Superman. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be weak. So I know how to communicate my issues. I intend to make the necessary sacrifices when it's time to, because I not always did that. And learn to persevere, fight through, because I always had the case of the fuckers. I give up and be like, it'll work itself out in due time. So those three things right there really help me, because like I say, I got a good network around me, but I was never communicating with it, utilized. Yeah, that put me in position. Those three things right there, I feel like will help me on the way.
Absolutely. I like that. I like your answer. You know, last night, one of the things I got from the meeting was I broadened my network. I met some people that I didn't even know. Exchanged phone numbers. This after 30-some years. That process is still going on. You know, what I take from what you were saying is I have learned how to ask for help. You know what I mean? Yeah. I ain't got to try to figure everything out by myself. You know what I'm saying? I can ask for help. I can ask for suggestions. You know what I mean? Hey, and let me just tell you this, like, man, in Baltimore, when Stewart, my friend Stewart's going to eventually come here. You know, me and him talked the other day and come over here one day. But you know, when Stewart was in Baltimore, man, they used to talk about that all the time, man. Like asking for some help, man. You know what I mean? We need that. We need to know how to do that. We need to learn how to do that. You know what I mean? Ask for some help. And what I thought about too when I was talking about getting y'all engaged, right? What they used to have in Baltimore was they had a lot of speaker meetings. The reason they had speaker meetings, if they had a speaker meeting, like everybody in here would get a chance to stand up and tell their story. Everybody would get a chance to get up and tell their story. Reason being, when you're in a group setting, you can hide. You can hide. And you here, and we don't know nothing about you. We here, we don't know nothing about you. You know? And this ain't what this thing about, right? This thing is about coming in here and revealing yourself. You know? You come in and you reveal yourself. Right after the meeting, somebody that went through the same thing that you went through gonna approach you. Man, I did 6 years in the penitentiary. The dude like, yo, man, I did 10 years. I did 12 years. You know? Bam. There go the network. That's how it starts. You know what I'm saying? So, my man, right here. Everybody that's hiding, you know, they don't get a chance to talk about themselves. What is it that you're willing to do?
Well, he kind of took mine, but I'd say network in a positive way.
Okay. Yeah. You ever been to jail before? 10 times? No. Okay. Yeah. You know, but I just say that, man. You know, me and John been doing this for years. We was at Pamunkey. It was a guy that was there, been locked up 19 times. 19 times. And I'm like, you get that out yet? I'm telling you, man. You know? And, man, our speaker that didn't get here, you know what I mean, that didn't get here, he eventually come back. But his thing was, too, man, he did some time. And he was like, look, man, you got to have a plan, man. You know? You got to have a plan. And my thing is, you got to have a plan with some strategy to it, you know? Nobody can see, nobody can visualize, but damn, man, if I get out, you know, go to McShin for 6 months, you know, to get myself together, you know, if my home situation ain't right, you know, because everybody that come here, their home situation ain't ideal, you know. It's probably the same as you left it, you know. So you getting out and then you going back to a toxic situation. And I understand with the women, they got kids. Now they even, I mean, this thing has advanced to the point where McShin got a house, man, for women with kids. You know, they've been talking about how important that was for years. I remember doing the Care Talks thing, they were talking about women with kids, you know? And so that's important, man. So you know, you can recover and you can also learn to be a better mother. You know what I mean? And not have to go back, you know, to a situation, man, that you know is going to hold you down, pull you down, sit you down, lay you down. You know what I'm saying? Situation that's going to take away from your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And okay, now I remember now. Hey. I remember now. I remember. You knew the Proverbs. You knew Proverbs 18:22. You know what I'm saying? You ever been married? You married now? Okay, that's why she knew it. I ain't gonna put you on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Huh? No. Wait a minute. I ain't gonna put her on the spot in a hard way. I'm gonna put you on the spot in the easy way. You know what I'm saying? I just gave y'all the thing about revealing yourself. You got to reveal something about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Man, what is it you willing to do?
Basically what you said, ask for help.
Yeah.
And just accept things that I can't change.
Oh, man.
Having the courage to change the things that I can't.
Oh, man. That's my prayer. Hey, she talking my prayer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, acceptance, man. Acceptance, you know. That's how it was told to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, if I wake up and it's raining outside and I wanted to play golf, you know, all day, if I'm early in recovery. If I'm not, I was like, okay, it's raining today. Let's see what's going to happen Thursday. We'll play Thursday. You know, I'll do something else on Tuesday. You know, I wake up in the morning, man, I pray, I read, you know, I reach out for help. I talk to my wife. I talk to some NA folks. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do, man. I don't go downstairs, man, till I get physically and spiritually fit. You know, I got a bad knee. I got exercises I got to do, man. I 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my exercises, you know? And it ain't because I want to, it's because I need to, you know? And so that's important, man. That's important, man. And then accept what's going on, you know? Accept the fact that I'm a person in long-term recovery. If I want to be in recovery, there are going to be certain things that I'm going to do that's going to go against the life that I have already lived, you know? And that's important. How you doing? I'm all right. Oh, good. You in orbit now?
No, I've been in orbit. I get pulled once a month.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just once a month?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So what is it that you're willing to do?
I'm willing to give up relationships that are toxic.
Uh-huh.
That aren't beneficial to my recovery and definitely drinking.
Yeah. I like that. You know, I remember years ago hearing females talking about being celibate. Hey, we going with this rated X now. Females talk about being celibate. You know what I mean?
They don't go celibate in jail, man.
Oh, no, yeah. Hey, John.
But they ain't going to talk about it either.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, I understand it. I understand it. Like, at some point, you know, the men and the women, you know what I'm saying? They get out, man. And, you know, man, what they said, man, God gave us, what do you call them, Pam?
Gave us the
testosterone, you know what I'm saying?
Baby. We're wired to hunt.
Yeah, you know. And what they get? What the women get?
Hormones.
Estrogen. Yeah. You know, and you got all of that, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, we don't know what to do with it, you know? We confuse love for sex. We confuse sex for love, one another. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, I love him. You know what I'm saying? And then after the sex gets routine, then you started seeing the flaws. You know?
You see that new model going down the road.
I like him, but, you know, he is so disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, and all of that, you know. And, you know, that's just something, man, like you said, that issues, man, that we have to deal with. Why are we in here?
So I know I need to get back with my sponsor. I still have a sponsor. She's been my sponsor for many years. So I know I need to start again, step one, and work the steps again. But asking for help is a big one for me because I don't say no. I'll take too much on. So I know I need to say no when I can't do something. And then if I do take on too much, ask for help and, you know, work closely with my sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a sponsor. Because, I mean, I know that would probably be a difficult, challenging task for most that's in here to get a sponsor, you know, to find somebody to work with you, you know. And then they got, too, man, is qualifications. You know, you can't get a sponsor and you got more clean time than he got. You know what I mean? The sponsor's supposed to have more clean time than you got. The sponsor's supposed to be working the steps and all of that. And the sponsor's supposed to have a sponsor, you know. And so what's trending now, and it's been now for some years, they have, especially the women, man, they have these sponsees work groups. They get together like once a month, you know. And they get together, man, and they sit down and they talk about what it is that they may be going through, you know. And it also broadens the network. You get to meet other people, you know, that's in your network, you know.
We have a sponsor family. So
Yeah.
my sponsors will come, and then her other sponsees.
Oh, yeah. John's wife, I was ready to join their group. John's wife, man, she got quite a few sponsors around here in Richmond. And I'm telling you, she was sharing one day at somebody's anniversary, and I was like, damn, I'd like to join their group.
I guess you would, man.
I'd like to join their group, man, because they were on the ball,
Yeah.
you know. And I heard that years and years ago, you know. You get out, you hook up with him, and, you know, somebody in your sponsor family would come to you and say, child, you know what you're doing? He done slept with about 4 girls in here. You know what I'm saying? You know, you need to be careful. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, don't just put your feelings out on the table like that. I'm just telling you some old school stuff. Don't put your feelings out on the table like that. And the guys were feeling like, man, them damn women done messed up a whole lot of relationships. You know what I mean? They done messed up a whole lot of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't no relationships. You know what I'm saying? You know? Exactly. Let's go to her. Yeah.
For me, asking for help, I would have to start with that, because that's just something that I'm just not good at. But I know that it's something that I'm going to need to do if I want to maintain sobriety. Going to meetings, getting numbers, getting a sponsor, you know, getting a good support network that I actually utilize. You know, I don't want to get numbers and not even use them. What's the point?
Exactly. You know, it used to be a thing one time. John been a sponsor now for like 38 years. It used to be a thing when you go to meetings, you go to a new meeting, they want you to get at least 5 phone numbers, you know, and they'll tell you, look, you don't have to call nobody and carry the conversation. All you got to do is call them. They will carry on the conversation. That's why I'm saying it's good to have a sponsor that's been here longer than you have. You know, they understand. They understand this piece about needing help, you know, and being shy and bashful and all that. You know, we're different individuals. We ain't the same individual that we are when we chasing that thing. You know what I'm saying? You chasing that monster, you know what I'm saying? You be elbowing and knocking people down to get in the front of the line. And you get here and, you know, you meek and humble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay. This ain't the same individual. But that's what happens, you know what I'm saying? But then you start to grow. You know, you started to grow, and they started asking you to do things. I like John's concept. They put you to work. They put you to work, and you started doing things. You got a whole lot of people. Look at him. Yeah, they put you to work, man. They'll give you a job, you know what I'm saying? And people notice that, you know?
Okay, I want to be willing to relinquish control and take things one day at a time.
Control is a figment of your imagination. Yeah. You know, and they say just focus on the things that you have control over. And for the most part, that's yourself. You know? And I was like, okay. I mean, I had to do that. You know what I mean? Just focus on me. You know? This other stuff, man. You know? Everybody don't think like I think. Everybody don't think like you think. You know what I mean? That's why I don't have debates no more. You know what I'm saying? I cut that out years ago. You know? I'm letting individuals be who they are. Let them think the way they think. When they see a reason to change it, then they'll change. All my responsibility is to present them with the facts. You can't stay clean by yourself. Yeah. You can't, and we understand about this, right? And I never thought about it. We understand about this. This is why the program that I came from, they don't tell you things. When we come from jails, institutions, you know, we got a problem with somebody telling us something. Because Pam been telling us this for 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they eat, when they sleep, you know, that kind of thing like that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we got a problem with that. So they don't tell you what to do. They offer suggestions to you. You know, like the speaker was saying the other week. John was telling us, hey, you might want to take a look at that. You know what I'm saying? That's how they give it to you. You might want to take a look at that, you know. Well, I don't need no meetings. I don't need to meet nobody. You know, and that's the thinking that I bought from the street. I don't need no more friends. I got enough. You know, friends were dangerous when we were on the street. Because your friend would put you down. Friend would stab you in the back. You know? We got here, man. When I got here, I had to become accustomed to a different kind of life, a different kind of friend, you know? And it just didn't happen, man. Like that text that my wife said about a marriage. It just didn't happen by chance. It just didn't happen by luck. You got to put some work in it. You know, you got to put some work in it, you know? And I done put work. Hey, Jim, I said last night, I spoke at Jim's anniversary, and I said, Jim, I was thinking about something, man, that I could bring you. I could have bought you for your anniversary, you know. And I said I came up with what I decided to bring you was some friendship, you know.
That's a good one.
That's what I decided to bring you, you know.
He needs friends.
Oh, yeah, you know. And so while we were there, we talked about playing golf Thursday. He going to play golf with us. You know what I'm saying?
With us Thursday.
He
going to play with us?
Yeah.
He going to lower his standards and play with us?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man.
It's going to rain Thursday.
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh, look. But let me tell you, it's like the game of golf. I love golf, man, because golf is a life lesson. You know, you can't look at an individual and tell whether they can play or not. Man, Jim, little short dude, man. You know, you can tell he been eating and all that. Man, Jim can hit that goddamn ball, man.
Oh, he's good.
Man, he good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this man be shooting in the 70s on a consistent basis. I mean, you play 9 holes, man, and he be 1 over. That's damn good.
Yeah, he's mad.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah, that's damn good. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, I see that. You know, you can't tell what an addict look like. You can't tell what a golfer look like either. You know, that's just part of the game of life. Get her, she been waiting.
I really haven't.
I know.
No, this is my first time having a recovery plan. Like I've tried to, I mean, of course I've been in jail before, but I've never been to any program outside of being in jail. So this is my first time just having a recovery plan, like, you know, planning for my recovery, not trying to do it by myself. Because I've tried to do it 1,000 times by myself and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It always creeps back upon me, slowly but slow.
Yeah. A reason why, man, I need help is that once you get out, the urge to use is coming. I've seen people get out in 30, 60 days, man. They just, you know, they all bubbly and excited and all that because the urge hadn't hit them yet, you know, and that's how this disease works, man. If the disease don't come through the front door no more, the disease be coming through the back door, side door, you know, and a lot of times you can't see it, you know, like the individual that I described earlier. He got a girl. He didn't know that, you know, what was going on with her. He thought she was on her way to recovery. 7 months later, she using again, you know. And like I want to tell her, man, the disease, sometimes, man, this thing will come in the form of a nice-looking guy. Damn, he look good. I got to have him, you know. We just don't know what's behind that facade, you know. 2-3 months you in it, you know what I'm saying, and your life turned upside down, you know. So, you know, I mean, I understand about that, you know. You got to take a look at it. That's why it's important, man, that we have somebody in our life that can check us, you know. Because, man, once the urge hits you, you know, we feel like it's an emergency, like I'm going to die. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I say about those that are in jail. When you got here, man, they took away the cigarettes, they took away the beer, the wine, they took away the opioids, they took away everything. And you ain't died. But this is what we do. That's the thought we put in our head. If I don't get, hey, you know what? That's the thought I had in my head. If I don't get this shit, man, you know, I'm going to die, you know. I'm like, man, come on, man. Be serious. But that's how we carry. That's how we think, you know. Especially when we've been turned upside down, you know. Man, I ain't never seen some shit so powerful in all my life. I mean, I ain't lived a long time. I just done lived 72 years. It'd be 72 years October the 20th.
That's coming up.
I'm telling you, I might make that. Yeah. Yeah, that was my wife told me last night. She said, boy, you sure don't act like you almost 72 years old. Yeah, y'all figure the rest of it out. Yeah. I was like, hey, and I got to say that, man. I got to say that. When I was coming up on 50, I ain't know what 50 was like. I had no idea what 50 was like. You know, what are they doing at 50 years old? You know, I had no idea. I thought they was ready for the rocking chair. You know, at 50 years old, I actually knew a couple of people that got depressed when they turned 50. And I understood the thinking. You ain't going to live to be 100, the majority of us. So 50 is the halfway mark. So once they got to 50, they figure like they were downhill. You done peaked, and now you're going downhill. So that became depressing, you know? And man, I mean, we started turning around now, man. We see people, man, 70 years old, man, running marathons and shit.
I think it's in 20s. 20s the first quarter, 40s the second, 60s the third, 80s the fourth. Anything above that's overtime.
It's overtime. Exactly, John. It's overtime, you know? My prayer is, man, for me to live to be 90.
Yeah, that's overtime.
Yeah, that's overtime.
You're in the fourth quarter now.
Yeah, I'm in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Get late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I got a granddaughter, man, that's 3 years old, and I like to see her graduate.
There you
You
go.
know, that's my vision. That's my plan anyway. I like to see her graduate. You know. Now,
You want to, when that happens, then you want to see her get married and have kids.
oh yeah. I'm still praying. I'm
Right.
still praying. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and I just understand this concept, man. And then let me hit you with this. A lot of times, for me, the same way, man. We sit in here and we think our days are numbered. I ain't got that many days left. So I need to get out here and do what I need to do now. I thought like that too. I was 36 when I came in here. I'm going on 72 years old, man. You know, I was getting ready to just mess my life up. The latter stages of my life, I was getting ready to mess that up, man, because of the way that I was thinking. When you read the NA basic text, it tells you what recovery is. It's a change of ideals and attitudes. It's a change of ideas and attitudes. Because those ideas and attitudes that I had before I got here, man, I need to discard that. I need to discard that. You know, one of those ideas is, and I just put that out there, if I don't get the drugs, if I don't get something, I'm going to die. You know? Man, you see people be walking the street 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to, who got it? You know what I mean? You know, and my idea about that has changed. You just heard me say, man, that's some of the most powerful shit I've ever seen. I ain't never seen nothing like that. You know, how that shit can turn you upside down like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't even know who you are. You know? And then, you know, a lot of this stuff that you hear, you don't believe it. You hear it, and, you know, it comes in one ear and goes out the other ear. You know? I said last night, this is a one day at a time program. But most of us need to understand we need to be grounded, man, all our lives. We need to be grounded all our lives. I made a statement earlier about life. Shit happens. Shit happens, good and bad. And in a particular age on it, man, I went through more after 65 than I did before that. With death in the family. You know? And I mean, that was heart-wrenching. I saw my brother die. And I'm telling you, man, this is like, never thought that, never visualized that. What I had to do to take care of him. I had to take him to the bathroom. He couldn't go to the bathroom by himself. Had to go and take him to the bathroom, clean him up, and put him in the shower before he go back to the bed. Sister-in-law, man, when my sister-in-law passed, John came to the memorial. My sister-in-law weighed probably 85 pounds. 85 pounds, man. That was a horrible sight to look at. I'm telling you, you got to be grounded. I had to be grounded in order to do that. Because if you ain't grounded, man, if you ain't grounded, you know, you ain't ready for that. Hey, man, I'm telling you, my sister-in-law, you know, my little nephew brought the kids over there to see my sister-in-law, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, they walked in the room and they almost passed out. They started crying. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. They started crying, you know? And they was like, man, how could y'all do that, man? I'm sitting in there with her. And that's what we had shifts. You know, just because in the case that she wake up, man, we had shifts, you know? Sit in there and talk to her, say things to her and all that, rub her feet, rub her hands, rub her forehead. You know what I mean? I learned this stuff, man, from being in Narcotics Anonymous. You know, from being in Narcotics Anonymous. And I named my life the redemption tour. Nobody never told me, man. Same thing, man. That was my brother, that was my sister-in-law, and then my mother. Man, what I had to do for my mother, you know? It's like, man, thank you, Lord. Second step of this program, man, they're talking about, man, second and third steps of the program about a God, a power greater than you are. You know what I'm saying? I got to cry out, man, for help, man. And when I'm going to see my mother, I don't know what I might see when I walk through the door. Hey, Pam, and I got to ask for some help. Lord, help me. Help me. Certain things that I can see as an individual would tarnish me, would tear me down if I ain't grounded. You know? And man, it won't no time to talk about, man, I need a drink. Or I need a cigarette. Or you know, I need an opioid and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? No. My mother needed me, and I was available. You know? Thank God for it. You know? So when you hear, and just like me, when you get out, you was thinking like, man, I might die in 5 years. So I need to get my thing on now. You know? Got to get rid of those ideas and those attitudes, man. You know? She was talking about control. I don't control that. She don't control that. When I'm going to get sick. When I'm going to die. Man, I went to the doctor at one stretch. I went to the doctor. I know for like 6 months I went to the doctor 20 times. 20 times. Because my thinking now is, if there's anything going on with me, I need to find out about it early. If I find out about it early, my chances of survival are better. You know? Because I know how I used to think when I was on the street. If I got sick, man, look, just fill the hype up and you know, hit me in the arm. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I don't wake up. You thought like that too? Yeah, you know. And when it talks about, man, us being selfish individuals when we get here, you know, it's being so, you ain't thinking about the kids, you ain't thinking about nobody else in the family, you're just thinking about yourself. You know, I want to take the coward's way out of this thing called life. You know what I mean? And then, you know, God puts you in a position, man, where you see people fighting, man. People fighting for their life. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they present the facts to you, you know. Let me look at that. Let me look at that, you know. Then I started changing my ideas and my thoughts and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. I got to 65 years old. Man, I was ready. What I'm doing today is what I was doing up until that time. And they, you know, like I said, if you ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know? Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know what I mean? If I'm sneaking off and doing this, I'm living 3 lives and all that shit like that, that shit is hard, man. I done tried that. I used to brag one time, man, I got a girl in every section of town. I heard Steve Harvey say one time, man, look, man, having a relationship with one man is exhausting. Why you want 4? You know what I'm saying? Hey, same thing. One woman is exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Why you want to pile on to that? You know? And then, if you got a man or a woman, this man doing that thing, man, chasing that thing. Back in the day, women used to say this. If you got a man and he cheating on you, that's all right. If you got a man and he got a dope habit, that ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can put up with them with the infidelity, but that dope habit, no, I can't put up with that. I'm finding a way to get up and get out the bed, get out the house 2 o'clock in the morning. then gonna turn around and tell you, but I love you. I discovered too, man, there's a thing called crazy love. Crazy kind of love. You know? Don't love me like that. You know what I'm saying? Give me some sensible kind of love. Some shit that I can understand. You know? Get my man here. He been waiting on it. Right here. Either one of them. What are you willing to do to change your life?
I mean, everybody done said pretty much a lot of the shit I want to do. But one of them for me is comfortability. I'm willing to be uncomfortable today and try something new.
Yeah.
I get complacent when I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So trying it my way for the last umpteen years ain't been working. So
I like that. I like
try
that.
it another way.
Yeah. I like that. Is that mic on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
For the,
oh yeah, yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
Make sure you copyright that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no speakers in here.
Okay. Yeah. But I like that. I like that. What he just said about being uncomfortable. You know, being uncomfortable because what they said, John, you're gonna have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, that's the hit. That's the hit right there. You know, because like I said, once you become comfortable, and he said it, and man, you know, when he was talking and he was explaining this situation, I reflected back on what I said earlier about being in a group and you can get lost, you know, and how they have speaker meetings so we can find out things about you. He gave the best answer. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say the best answer, you know, because it ain't no right answers. He gave. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. Hey, scratch that, Steve. Hey, he gave one of the best answers. Yeah. Thank you, Pam. That's why Pam here, you know. It's about being uncomfortable sometimes, you know what I mean? And what my wife said too about a rock solid commitment. You know, I stand on that, man. Me and John been coming here. John, for what? Man,
a year.
A year.
A year. We started in November.
Yeah.
And this is our 12th month.
Yeah. I mean, rock solid. You know what I'm saying? I just remember we were down here and it was a holiday.
We come every Tuesday, no matter what day it is.
Yeah, it matters what day it is. And they say,
they don't let us in. We outside that door.
Yeah. What are y'all doing here?
But y'all come down every time too. Wherever we go, they come.
Yeah.
Pam don't play.
Yeah. It's like, what are y'all doing here? We got a rock solid commitment. You come in here, man, and give you a hope shot. You know, give me a man right here. He got here a little late.
First of all, my name is Jermaine. I'm an addict.
What's up, Jermaine?
Start with that.
Yeah.
You said something about what I'm willing to give up, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm willing to give up everything.
Is that your guy?
I'm willing to do whatever's necessary.
Hold on. Danielle.
I'm 9 minutes away.
Huh? We thought you was here, man.
God, you know what? I went back to the old jail.
I know. But 9 minutes. Okay, we still got time. If you need to get here by 6:15.
All right, I got you.
All right. Don't get no ticket.
Yeah.
Don't get no ticket. All right.
It's gonna be a long night tonight. Is that all right?
Yeah. Come on, Jermaine. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm willing to give up everything. I'm willing to do whatever necessary because I understand what it's going to be for me to go back and do the same thing I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got to change my way of thinking. I got to change the people I'm around. You know, I got to change my actions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for me, it's been a journey. You know what I'm saying? I had to fight to get here. So it's like, you know, I'm willing to go through the changes. Like one of my first plans when I get out is the first day out, go to a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't pass go. You know, that's the way I'm going to get into the support I need out there. So, you know.
Yeah. I like that, man. You know, we got to strategize about our plan. You know, and as you were talking, you know, I went to one of these classes. They offered the class down at McShin, man, how to listen, you know. And then one of the parts of the class is when you learn to listen sometimes what an individual don't say, you know. Now, I like what he was saying. He willing to change everything, you know. And this is why they tell you come in and get with somebody and get with a sponsor. Just come in, talk to John. And John will say, well, you ain't got to change everything, just damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want you to doing any outrageous stuff. And I like what he was saying, too, about being uncomfortable. You know, and the thing about it is, you know, what's easier? You know, you work with a sponsor, and your sponsor will find out what's best for you, you know. Like the guy said yesterday, if they don't know the answer, they know somebody that knows the answer, you know. But eventually, you can find out what it is that you need to do, you know. Going to a meeting, I understand, you know, when we get here, we got whyism. Why? Why I need to go to a meeting? Why I can't go home to my boyfriend or girlfriend or to my family, you know, and not go to a meeting? It was like, go to a meeting, you know, to find out or to experience the atmosphere of recovery, you know, and also get some phone numbers, you know. See, when we in here, ain't nobody got no drugs in here. We in the meeting, ain't nobody got no drugs in there. You know what I'm saying? You can't get no drugs in there. Them people talking about saving their lives, saving their asses and all that. You know what I mean? So, and that's a different atmosphere than where we come from. You know, and then the thing about it is the recovery thing, man, the recovery. When you go to a recovery place for 30 days, all that they doing is removing you for 30 days from your present environment. Just removing you from your present environment. And when they tell you to go to a meeting, they telling you to change your present environment. Go to somewhere, man, where there's an atmosphere of recovery. You know, all of this shit coincides, man. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, a whole lot of times you need to understand all the answers might not come to you right away. All the answers might not come to you the first time. You know? You got to keep coming back, man. You got to keep coming back, man. You got to keep researching. All the answers about yourself might not come to you the first time. Well, why I do this? Why I keep getting these men that ain't good and all of that? You know what I'm saying? It may not come to you on the first shot, but keep coming back, you know? And you eventually get those answers, you know? We got 2 more people in the back. My man.
First, stay dedicated to my program of recovery. Go to NA meetings. I'm going to do 12-step. So get a sponsor or get back in touch with my sponsor and get a home group and work my network. Yeah. Establish. Start that process all over again. You know, never give up on the process. You know, start it all over again. You know, John always say this. I don't, but relapse. You don't have to, but relapse is a part of the process. You know, I've seen people relapse, man, get up, a couple of days later, they're back at the meeting again, you know. And I could understand that process. I understand that. When some people get out, man, they just feel like, I got to do it one more time. You don't have to. You know, the recovery, the change of the ideas and attitudes, you don't have to do it one more time. But they want to do it. And they'll get out and they'll do it. Come on back. You know, what they say in the basic text, man, that we come from. You know, if that's going to put you in a more vigorous seat, you know, let's go for it. The man here.
I think one of the biggest things for me is, number one, is to look at my identity, character, and look at where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. One of the things that a lot of, I don't speak for me, right, that I have to deal with is going out there. And the first thing a person would say, I remember when, but we fail to look at where a person that is right now. Mm-hmm. So we always in the past. But if I look at where I'm at now, I'm able to look at the past. Another thing, one of the biggest steps, and I think the MRT book talks about, is disloyalty. I had to work on that, to deal with that disloyalty part of it and move forward. But the main focus is looking at where I'm at now. If I can look at where I'm at now, then I can understand where I was back then.
Yeah, turned upside down. Yeah. I like that. And let me tell you, you know a little bit about the Bible. That's why I asked that question to you. And another thought process for me, I just mentioned, I did 6.5 years in the penitentiary. I met some people in the penitentiary that knew the Bible like the back of their hand. They knew the Bible better than the preacher did in the pulpit. But they couldn't live it. They could not live it. And this is the most difficult part about the change. Learning how to live, and he talked about it with being uncomfortable. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, you know, and that right there, man, that right there. You know, I've been in and out of the jail, man, Richmond City jail, for at least 6 times, you know. And I tell you, and this guy, I'm going to break his anonymity, but Leroy, every time I come down to jail, Leroy is the chaplain's assistant, you know. Leroy knew the Bible, man. He knew it, you know what I'm saying? Knew scripture and everything. Couldn't live it though, man, you know? Couldn't live it, you know? And that's the piece right here, man. I mean, you know, come in here and start to living a new way of life, you know? And we always thinking, I like what he said because we always thinking, you know, man, this is what I used to do. I'm going to continue to do that. Why? Because you don't want to change, you know? Hey, Steve, we got one more. No, I said we had 2 more.
Take advice from the coaches, or I talk back to the coaches, because I have a hard time being told what to do.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing is taking advice and asking something. If I don't know the answer to it, just asking the question. So maybe somebody that knows the situation can help me out. You know?
Yeah.
And like my man said, put myself in an uncomfortable situation. Me coming to McShin and on the 31st is not comfortable for me, but it's something that I got to do because I know what I got to do for myself to get ahead, because what I've been doing prior to getting released ain't been working for me. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I've been to the prison twice already. This would have been my 3rd time if I didn't come through this program. So what I'm doing by myself ain't working. So I need some type of help from some type of community, fellowship, to point me in the right direction.
Oh, yeah. You know, I like that. Doing something, man, that you may be uncomfortable with, you know, that's the ticket right there, man. You know, we're gonna be uncomfortable with a lot of things, man. You know.
I apologize,
everybody. Yeah.
He bust up in here, man.
Yeah.
I went up to the east side.
Yeah. And
Crossroads Lives Matter.
Yes, it does. I like that shirt, you know. Yeah. And this is Danielle, y'all. So,
hey, why don't we do this real quick? Give everybody like 2 minutes, stand up and stretch, and then we'll dive into Daniel.
Yeah.
And he drove down from Northern Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he drove a long way twice to get here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Y'all stand up straight.
Hey, what are you willing to do? You know what I'm saying? To come over here and speak.
Double header, baby.
Yeah. Y'all stand up, stretch yourself and all that. You know what I mean? You good?
If you don't want to, you ain't got to.
You got to stretch your leg?
I got uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta work out.
I got to stretch my legs too.
Marshall said he doesn't want to work out. He works out, right, Marshall?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I got you.
I was down here, went down.
You were here first?
No, I didn't know.
Huh? Oh, man. Somebody told me, I ain't gonna call no names, I ain't gonna break their anonymity, but they was like, man, everybody is trying to lose weight and eat differently and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody except for her. Huh? The diet don't matter. Yeah. No diet on Tuesdays. We could do that, man. Yeah. Come on, man.
All right, y'all about ready?
Yeah.
Everybody stretch and needed to stretch. Y'all give Marshall a hand, man.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you, man. Anytime.
Yep. Thank you once again for letting us in the house. Pam, thank you very much for making this happen. Remind the sheriff that we appreciate it. I know this is going to be a long one tonight. Just bear with us. I met Daniel in D.C. a few weeks back, and he lives in Northern Virginia and works for a peer recovery center up there. And he said, man, I'd love to speak at the jail. He came down last week and spoke at East, and we invited him back here. But he said, man, when you said West, I thought it was the west side of the East jail. So common mistake. I've heard it made once in my lifetime. So anyway, let's give a warm welcome for Daniel. Thanks for coming down.
Hey, Pam, how much time we got?
We got time. She said we can roll.
Okay.
All right. If you got to go, you can go, though.
No.
I know Pam waiting on you.
Oh, no. I don't want to hold Pam up.
Oh, good. A good talk like that. She's watching, boy. She's waiting on you, man.
Yeah.
That's my husband.
I ain't going to hold Pam up.
How's everyone doing this evening?
Good.
This is a little different than last week when I was at and you had everybody, and then it just happened to be a couple guys that was on the men's side. I was in there with them, and they kind of vouched for me. You was at Big Brothers, but we used to work out all the time, because that's what I did in my recovery when I took upon recovery while I was incarcerated. I used for 17 years while I was incarcerated, until a brother from church, he would say to me, promise me one thing, that you're going to get your life together. And that's when my recovery date is July 20th of 07. I haven't looked back, but my first 5 years was a foggy 5 years because I couldn't get it together. I was that messed up because I had started using since I was between 12 and 13, and that was back in 73, 74. But one of the things is I wanted to give myself a chance because I had been through treatment in 86 in Philly and in 88 at the Phoenix House in Arlington. But most important, I wasn't ready, so I did a stint. I did 30 years. And that's where I found myself. And I was able to come out after doing it, and I met Jenny for the Chris Atwood Foundation. Chris was a young man who died of an overdose at 21, February 23rd of 13. And then 4 days later, she quit her job and started the Chris Atwood Foundation, February 27th. And we're celebrating 10 years now. But beating her upon coming out and accessing their housing program, which I did bring some postcards. I apologize, I left them in the car. And I bought, and so they gave me money to move into Oxford House because after a month of me getting out of prison, my family was done with me. They walked with me for 30 years and then they was done. The thing about it is, I was just beginning to live for the first time. because I've been gone for 30 years. And I don't wish a year on a person or 2 years on a person, but 30 years, and some of the other brothers that I still communicate with in there, and I still speak up. I'm able to speak up for them on the parole board because I'm on 2 reentry councils. I'm on Arlington Reentry Council. I'm on Fairfax Reentry Council. I'm on Arlington. I've been appointed for 3 years with the CSB SUD committee because I take my recovery serious. I take having my second chance, getting the first chance right seriously, because I went in at 29, I came out at 59. And I never gave myself a chance to live because I was always pointing the finger at my parents, at my brothers, at my sisters, at somebody else. But I never pointed that finger, as they say, when you got when you got one pointing at somebody else, you got the majority pointing back at self. And I never gave it. And so when I started to give myself a chance, because I was happy as all outdoors just to be free. First, I had to learn how to walk past 100 yards because it was so foreign to me. Then I had to learn how to ride a bike and go fast again because it was so foreign to me. Then I had to learn how to get in a car and let crazy Ronnie drive me because he drives so fast and he drives so crazy. But I had to learn how to do it because it was so different. But when I got that bicycle, I rode that bicycle, as the neighbors say, he ride that bicycle everywhere because I was free. Even though it was the height of COVID, because I made parole March 30th. They let me out April 21st of 2020. That's my email account. Because it's to remind me of where I come from. And that's my humble beginning, because the God of my understanding took me through a series of changes while I was incarcerated, through a series of people who helped me build up. Not only helped me build up, but helped me find myself. And that's what got me down here, because this is a t-shirt I got when I met John at recovery, at Mobilized Recovery. I got this from a couple young ladies from Texas because they was incarcerated. And our lives do matter. And the reason why they matter is because we're still human. We still have feelings, we have thoughts, we want connection, you know. We have family members, you know, we fathers, sons, uncles, mothers, daughters, aunts, you know, and we have this space to be the best person or the best version of self. And that's a part of working the program, because I have a neighbor, she's 70 years old. I take her to meetings. When I go to meetings, I didn't take her tonight because I came down here. But if I wasn't here, I would have took her like I took her last night. Because being incarcerated, honestly, it saved my life. As crazy as it sounds, it saved my life, because if I'd have stayed out, I was going to get killed in D.C. Because it was, you know, my last drug of choice on the street was crack. But I had given up so long ago because of the issues I went through in the house I grew up. The physical issues, the mental issues, the fragmentation and the dysfunctionalness that I went through in the house that I grew up in. It made me angry. It made me angry because I didn't understand what my feelings was. I couldn't identify anything but anger, because that's all I ever seen. Until I started getting with brothers in DOC. And even right now, I petitioned to get off of parole, because if I get off of parole, I'm gonna get a job working for the Virginia Department of Corrections. And I wanna go back in there and teach those brothers how to be, or their sisters, how to be peer recovery specialists. Because that's what I am. I'm certified by Virginia to be a peer recovery specialist, which is a person with the lived experience, because I got another shirt to say lived experience matters too. And that's something that I wore in Hawaii when I went to Hawaii to speak at a conference in April of my 3-year anniversary. I only been out 3 years and 5 months, but I came out with a purpose. I came out with some goals. I came out with a direction. I came out with a new sense of hope. I came out with some self-love. I would still beat myself up because I am my worst enemy. I would still beat myself up. And what thing that I didn't do was I didn't allow myself to beat me so down that I said it's easy to give up and go back to that old way that I kept telling people I wasn't going to do. And all the time I had that hidden agenda in my mind that I was going to do this anyway. Nah, you know, and that's one of the reasons why when I was asked to come, and then y'all could see what lengths that I went to even get here. And it was different talking with 50 on this side and 50 on that side. It was good. It was different. But y'all, this is more intimate. Not only because I thought maybe I was going to be sitting in a round circle and I'll be sitting down with you. But this is more intimate because y'all in the program. I've taken the MAT training. I took the forensic peer training, which deals with incarceration. I've taken so many trainings that I'm still not done taking trainings because I didn't educate myself when I was growing up. I dropped out of school, but I got my GED at 47 at Haynesville, August 29th of 2007. I never gave up. Then I took some college courses, and then I was wailing when I took the psychology courses. And I allowed my job in prison to pay for them. I pressed license plates in there. I made clothes in there. In a lot of these tables that I see in government buildings, I wonder if I put the edge band around it because that's what I did. But most important is I made myself productive after I got past the angle because it was my fault that I got locked up. It was my fault. But I wanted to blame it on everybody else. You know, and taking responsibility for myself is allowing me to do what I want to do those things that always was hidden in me, to reach out to everybody or reach out to other people in order for me to receive a blessing. Because in order for me to receive that blessing, I got to be a blessing. I ain't got to always have, what I say is, I don't give you a hand out, I give you a hand up. Because that's the old proverb to say, I could give you a fish, you can eat for a day, but if I teach you how to fish, what was that? That's right. That's so important because Jenny, the founder of the Chris Elwood, met me and she talked to me and she said you had an obvious light that needed to be shined. And that's what had her hire me. So when we had our ribbon cutting at our ROC, which opened up 3 weeks ago, I would right after we met that Friday, I'm staying there holding the ribbon, and my sister in Boston calling me say, "I seen you on TV." Yeah, you know, and just to be able, because they thought when I left I was gonna be the same person walking out that door. They thought that. They didn't know, all the time while I was in there, they was coming to see me. They wasn't paying attention to me. They wasn't listening to me. So when I went and found February 27th, I went to my sister's house, the one that didn't want to kick me out after a month of being, first of all, 3 days after being out, she accused me of stealing. 4 days, she called the cops. One week after being out, I had to say, "I'm not your boyfriend, I'm your little brother. What is you arguing with me for?" I went through that for a month. But most important is I put faith in the action. I was cutting grass and being an HVAC worker, a helper, and didn't know what I was doing. But I put faith in the action and said, I'm going to move in this Oxford house And then from this Oxford house, I'm not gonna stay there because I'm tired of living around dudes. I'm going to get me an apartment. And it happened to be, I was blessed after 7 months to get my first apartment that I'm still at today. The most important part about it, it was a place that used to be a church where I tried to go to meetings at in '88. And I live there right now. Arlington Presbyterian Church. This is where, and it was 7 months. But what I was doing in the process of living in the Oxford house, I was buying stuff for an apartment. I was manifesting this, just like what my brother right here say, I'm ready to toss this one over to him because I'm able to say, 3 years, I got 3 cars, and I only got to pay taxes on one because I don't need a new car. The other 2, I don't need it. I got a 2012 and a 05 and a 06. But most important is I got myself. Because it's an inside job. When I say it's an inside job, I can walk around looking flies all I want to, and all I am is a dressed up garbage can. Because I'm rotten in here, I'm screwed up in here, I got all these other issues that I'm not dealing with that has me not becoming my best self. And this is why y'all in this program, it's a blessing that you're in this program. Because a lot of other people wish they was in this program. I recently had a brother, he made parole. He made parole after 50 years of incarceration. And he went right back to, he was using. So he overdosed. They revived him at the prison that he's at. After 50 years he was in, this is what he was doing. And when they went in the cell, they found more strips and wine. You 70-something years old. That's a lot. And he's dear to me. He's very dear to me, but as soon as you get that opportunity that you've been fighting for all this time, then they take it from you because you overdose. You won't get that chance again. I met Governor Glenn Youngkin on July 9th because I said it, I was going to meet him. I got up, I went to a behavioral youth conference. I bought a camera the day before because I said, I'm going to meet this man. I went to Walmart and I got me a good camera. I went to it was Mountain Zion Baptist Church in Triangle, which is that right where Quantico is. And I said, I'm gonna get on this stage and I'm gonna meet this man. I got on that, and I had asked Shelley, who's our executive director, can I wear one of the calf t-shirt? I got on that stage. Our first person I talked to was a captain from Herndon, and she was telling me how she lost her niece to an overdose. The next move was, I'm going to meet the governor. I was happy, extremely happy, because this is what I was determined, and I got what I call is social anxiety issues. But I got on that stage and there was a delegate I said, here, take pictures. I was very happy, because it's like, here it is, man, you standing next to me, which he's tall, taking pictures with a person that was in prison for 30 years, a person that's been in recovery for 16 years. And it's like, we having a conversation. He said, let me get you a business card. I had one business card. And several days later, he had a staffer call me. And we talked for about a half an hour. And then Jenny was like, you need to give me all that information because, his politics, right? But it was the fact. We're smiling at each other and talking. And it's like, really, and that is what this program has afforded me. But it's also afforded me to be able to teach you how to be a PRS, teach you how to be what we call a peer activated resilience, which is how to self-care, to teach you the MAT program, forensic program, and I'm all these certifications by the Virginia Board of Behavioral Health and Development Services. When I came out of prison, I didn't think I wasn't going to do nothing but work for somebody in a warehouse because I've been gone, because of my crime. But when I say God is the best of planners, my life was the best of planners. He planned this for this because I met the assistant prosecutor of Arlington County, took me to lunch. Chaplain Martin, who was he was a father to me. He said God had something for me to do. 3 days later, he called me back, and that was my introduction. I have made the best of what I have left. So rewriting my legacy better than my formal years of my legacy is what I've been able to do. Because that word hope, holding on to that little bit of string and not letting go. Because I thought for real, when I was incarcerated, that I almost lost my mind twice up in there. It was hard. I felt like I was suffocating. And the only way that I could deal with anything in there was if I was snorting a morphine pill and I was smoking weed. That was it. Every day. Until the brother from Churchill say, promise me one thing, because he was dying of cancer. And they wouldn't let him go. He died in July '09. His picture is up on my bookcase in my apartment, along with pictures of other brothers that some in there now that's still in there is hooked on fentanyl, because that's what it is. That's why being a disciple of this program is one of the best things you can do, and that not only do, but do it for other people, because in order to keep to keep what I have, I got to give it away. And I'm showing you how much I'm giving it away. No matter how many 4 hours that it'd take me to get back down Northern Virginia, but just the fact of being with y'all, because y'all gonna make me think. I'll sit in the car and drive back and just listen and hear what I feel from having y'all in front of me. 1, 2, 5, 10, 13, 14 people who are my sisters and brothers, because we got more alike. We are definitely more alike than different. We're definitely more alike than different because I shared experience, and not only that, I lived experience. Not only that, our hope, our motivation, our spirit, our insight. Because when I met Marshall last week I said, hey, where the rest of the band at? Because that's Marshall Tucker, right? Yeah, I said, where the rest of the band at? Because this, and that's what it is. Yeah, I know about the Marshall Tucker band. So, but this is the thing. Even though I love go-go, but I love music because it's universal. This past weekend they had a Culture World Festival in D.C. on the Mall, and they had some of everybody out there. It was a huge thing for 3 days, a huge thing. Just like this is a huge thing for right now, not knowing how long you stay out, but definitely I want to see you win. And I hope you want to see yourself win, because you've been blessed to be in this I think this is the first program in Virginia, right, that started the MATs, right? Is this the first program?
No, we've been doing programs for the ride been going on for 23 years, and we've been coming in the jail for 18 years. We go all over.
Hey, see, and where
You come to Mecca.
yeah, see, and that's why I call your program the father program, and I call our program the sister program, or the daughter program, because y'all set the bar real high. Yes, at the bar, and the things that's going on down here, and and all the different programs you got, and then the house that you got for the women with women and children, because one of the least amount of houses that especially in Northern Virginia is houses for women and women who have kids, because they have to recover too, and it's really only two, it's not that many. I think altogether it's like 3 houses, but being here and taking advantage of building that integrity within self, to thy own self be true. I can lie to you, as I say, my saying goes, I can bullshit a baker and get a bun. But if I bullshit you, you're gonna see right through that, and I ain't gonna get none. and that's real. To that own self be true, because Michael said it. The man in the mirror. You got a man in the mirror, and what do you see, or what do I see when I look in the mirror? I get up, no matter what. I get home. I get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. I will pray. I will read out of a meditation book. Then I will meditate, and then I will have a conversation, and then I start my day. So all I have is just for today. I got up at 4:30, and all I have is just for today. My recovery has been since 4:30. That's it. Regardless of the years that I accumulated, all I have is today. That's it. Just like the same. The same. I would like to go around and ask everyone their name, if that's possible. Mike?
I'm Kurt.
Kurt.
Nelson.
Okay. Pearly. At the pearly gates, huh? Okay. Bill? Bella? Anisha. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, Bill. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So bad. See, you know what? For real, we got a lot in common. We really have a lot in common. In spite of, when I got this ID, this was the only ID, the first ID I got when I got out. I had a big bash last week that said I saved lives on, I don't know what I did. I think it fell off somewhere. But if it fell off, somebody picked it up who really needed to pick it up, and hopefully, I believe that that's what they're working to do, to save lives for others, because this program, because of John, because of Marshall, because of Steve, this is the beautiful thing, to be able to come down here and do this, because, for real, not knowing how long you got, but most important, make the best of the time that you do have. As Muhammad Ali said, don't count the time, but make the time count. And that's real, no matter where you're at. And when I realized after I got through my fall from 07 to 13 for real, when I got through that fall, that's what I started to do. So when I went up for my last parole hearing, I had a professor from Washington Lee School of Law. So I had a director of Homestretch VA located in Falls Church show up. I had Brother Willie. Brother Willie was a brother that I was in there with that became an advocate for those who was working for parole. My sister came from Boston, my sister from but they met people in that. And I had the first person to win in that parole hearing was the secretary, just because I wrote her a thank you letter. I thanked her for everything she did for all the guys in the past, the present, and the ones who's coming in the future. And she went in the parole hearing and spoke up for me. I didn't know that it was going to be that way. So, because in 2002, after 12 years of being in, I had to find out why I did what I did. So I wrote some state senators, and one of them responded, who was still a state senator. He responded with 2 addresses. I wrote the one, and that's when I started on a different road to find out why. And ever since then, I've been able to do that. That's why I ended up going to Hawaii on my 3-year anniversary of being out. I'm on a plane for the first time, but I'm on a ship over there watching the sunset in the Pacific. Nothing like it. And
That's a long flight for your first time, man.
And they got me on the way back with a layover at 11 hours at LAX.
Yeah.
But to actually stand in front of a room full of prosecutors explaining to them the purpose of what it is not to incarcerate a person, but to help a person build themselves up, you know, from whatever thinking error or bad decision. I never say mistake, because I was taught how to think bad. You know, in the house that I grew up, I was taught how to consistently have thinking errors that I did not recognize. And so when I did that, because I used to always say mistake until I realized that it was bad decisions. And when I stood in front of the prosecutors, and all I know is they started standing up and giving me a standing ovation. I was like, I looked at Chris, because Chris was one of the presenters with me. I looked at Chris, and his face was like, and I was like, really? And I seen him. It was so surreal for me, because I never thought that I would be there. I don't know what time I have left to continue to grow, but most important, they released me from parole. I will work for the Virginia Department of Corrections, because people and brothers and sisters need to learn how to take their lived experience and benefit others. You know, I'm certified by the state of Virginia, and I'm registered by the Commonwealth of Virginia Department of Health Professionals, because they got a thing called barrier crimes. And when they asked me to write a letter of concerning my crime, the same week, 13 months after being out, I got my rights back on Monday, and I got my registration on Friday. That was, you know, so I'm voting. I'm not maybe early voting, but I'm voting because I have that opportunity to utilize what some of my ancestors did in order to die, because they died for us to vote. So I got that opportunity to do that. So why not? You know, I voted for this last governor, even though he didn't get elected, you know. But that's the process of doing and learning how to live life on its own terms, you know. And that's what it was. That's what it is, you know. I would definitely ask anybody have any questions. No? You sure? You know, because of the fact that, you know, if I could get Henry to go out to my car and get these postcards, I would like for you to see this postcard, because it tells about our program. It tells what we do. 4 parts of our program is a Revive to Thrive program, a housing program, an advocacy program, and
what's your name?
I think probably in the rider side, those green postcards. Yeah.
What was the hardest part of your transition, and what steps did you take to overcome?
You know, 2 things. I walked from my house that I grew up in, and I tried to go to Columbia Pike. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was just so overwhelming. The other part was when I went to the ATM machine and did not know how to operate the ATM machine. I'm sweating. I had to call my niece, she lived in Waldorf, Maryland, walk me through this, because it was such a frightening, and I had people behind me, and I'm feeling inadequate, embarrassed, and such, so I had to have her walk me through that. that was, and then like I said, getting on a bicycle again for the first time, and afraid to go fast, so I had to take my time, you know. Now I get on my bicycle, I ride from Arlington all the way over to the new harbor in Maryland, which is like right where the MGM, and I ride back, you know. And it's so beautiful just to be able to do that. But that was the hardest part. Matter of fact, I called a psychologist when I walked to Columbia Pike, and I got almost there, and I couldn't go all the way. I couldn't go all the way, you know. It was a eagle. One day I'm bringing the dog downstairs. I was dog sitting about a month ago or so, and I came downstairs down the side of the apartment building, and there was a bald eagle right there. My whole insides is just flipping, and then so I get the dog and go back on the elevator and get the wrong phone, and it took the pictures, but not good pictures. But when I came down and moved from this side of the teller's booth to this side, because I live next to a bank in Wendy's, and then as we walked around so I could get a better picture, it flew off, and I followed it straight down Columbia Pike some, and it was sitting right up on the condominium. And when I told a few people about it, they said that my spirit has summoned that bird. And then I just got a text on my personal phone that the newspaper caught a shot of it, and they put it in the newspaper in Arlington. And what it means, because it made me grab a card off of my bookcase that a former coworker gave me after my first year being out, because she gave me a card with an eagle on it and said how much I'm soaring in my first year. The same thing. What I do, the same thing. Even if John was to give me a job to say, come down here and do a training for 10 days, come down here and do a training and train every one of y'all to become peer recovery specialists, I would do that. I would do that.
Would Atwell fund it?
We have 4 trainings at our center, and we're about to, next week will be our second training since the center opened.
Yeah, but if Atwell wants to fund it, I'm sure we can line it up so you can get it done.
You know what? We doing our gala on the 26th, and so we looking for funds ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a way that we can definitely connect.
Are you a trainer?
Yes, I am.
You're a state trainer?
Yes, I am.
For the 72-hour peer?
Yes, very much. I got that. I got off April. I went through the training. I completed it February 4th. I completed it February 4th, February 4th of 2022. And that day, some friends and people I know that was formerly returned citizens was having something in Churchill on R Street or Q Street at the theater right there. And that very next day, I came on. I drove on down to be a part of that, because I was excited that I went through Mary McCallum's program.
Right.
You know, and when I was in Hawaii, I got up 3 o'clock their time, which is 9 o'clock this time, and I went through the peer activated resilience training. So that's my other TOT.
Right.
You know, and that was like, they was like, if this guy's up to do this early in the morning, that he's serious.
You got to wrap it up in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So getting late.
You know, but for real though, hope nothing but the best. You know, because everybody has a story, and that story can turn into a success story. You know, we our best friends or our worst enemies. You know, as the song say, you can get with this and you can get with that. But you can get with hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You left that you left that $1,000 on the seat, right? Can I give out a hug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, let's give him a hug. Let's give him a hand, man.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Y'all can hug it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Always.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know what?
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Pam.